Drive on, mama, buckle up. Andre TV here from driveonmama.com. It is cold out here, taking my breath away. And you want to know the best way to make the most money on Doordash. The best way to make the most money on Doordash is to drive when it's busy. That would be the lunch hours and the dinner hours. Right now in my market, it is about 6:15. We have accepted our first order for the night, 12:25, going 2.9 miles, and it is a large order. And you are a part of the large order program, and you are a top dasher. But even as a top dasher, I typically work about 8 to 10 hours a day, trying to reduce that. But I can let you know the times in between the lunch and the dinner hours are the slowest. You're going to get the least amount of tips, and you're going to drive the farthest. The best way to make the most money with Doordash is to drive when it's busy. Let's go pick up. There is a $3 peak pay right now until 7:29. We dropped off that first order, and the final payout was $26.41. Thank you, Miss Customer. And then we received our next before we can get out of that neighborhood. It is another catering order. The first one was picking up Indian food. This one is picking up seafood. $14 for 3.7 miles, 7 items. Let's go. That last order, they tipped $30.22 for a final payout of $37.22. And then we logged off. I always in my dash, if I make too much too quick, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Because I ended that dash at 6:57, came back to the avenue and did not get another order until just now. It is now 7:25 p.m. Our next order is 10:25 for 1.2 miles, I believe, and it is another large order program. Let's hope it's ready and go pick. And the last order went up to $25.27. Thank you, Mr. Customer. I delivered to that house quite a few times, and they always tip very well, so I'm very appreciative. And the Sunday slowdown has begun. We didn't get our next order for almost 20 minutes. It is now 7:57. We're going to pick up some pho, $9, 1.7 miles. And that last order of the pho went up to $10, and we're grateful and appreciative. They did throw on another $2 peak pay that's going to run from 7:30 to 9:29. And we have taken our last order for this dinner shift. It is about 8:35 right now. We got the order within the last couple of minutes. After driving around to all of the hot spots and getting nothing and watching dashers on their phone in their car, 1850, 5.7 miles. Let's go get some steak. Okay, that last order, the customer tipped $30. So that 1850 went up to $37.64. Thank you, Mr. Customer. And he came down the steps to meet me, and I didn't have to go up his steps, even though he had actually shoveled them. You'd be surprised how many people have not shoveled their steps and walkway, and this is like 2 days after the snow. Well, we ended our dash and we were back on the avenue about 9:15. So we worked from about 6 to 9:15 and had a dinner to make up for, or partially make up for the 2 days we missed due to the snow last week. We ended with 136.54. 63 on the first one, 63, then 72.91 on the two separate dashes. So the best way to make the most money with Doordash is to drive when it's the busiest. It doesn't help, or it does help if you're a top dasher and in the large order program, but your market is really going to determine how much you can make. I already know from experience I could not make this money in other states. Just an example, my 12-year-old, we went to Cooperstown last year, and I did a couple of shifts up there. First of all, Cooperstown only allows McDonald's and a flower shop, so I had to drive to the next town, which was about half hour, 35 minutes away, which is what I do here as well. And I was able to get some decent orders, and I would still be able to keep top dasher status because the people do tip. But when we went to Florida, for 2 years, we go before Thanksgiving, 2 years in a row, I could not maintain it in Florida. There are so many people who could care less how far you have to drive to get them what they want and don't compensate accordingly. I could not maintain it in Florida. That's the truth from experience. So your market really determines ultimately how much you will make. Hopefully this helps someone, and drive on.